everyone. Welcome to the International Wealth Builders Radio Show with me, your host, Dr. Sharon Barnes. I'm just excited to talk to you today about the ADU grant program, to bring you different information about some new home buyer programs in our area that we can take advantage of. And so thank you for tuning in. I hope you stay with us the whole hour because it's going to be great information. We have a very special guest that's very knowledgeable and really is going to tell us how to take the next steps to making our real estate dreams a reality. So again, I'm Dr. Sharon Barnes. I'm the CEO of ADU Advantage, where we provide customized counseling and project management services to make your dreams of building an accessory dwelling unit a reality. And we know that we're having a severe housing shortage and that it's all hands on deck. So we want to help increase the inventory, help you build generational wealth, help you build places for your loved ones to stay and to make your quality of life better. And so here at this show, we bring different resources and information where we can all come together and put your A-team together to get your dreams of building an ADU a reality. And home ownership is always at the core of our mission. So today, I am so privileged and excited to have Catherine Peoples with us. She has such an extensive background. I can't tell it all. I will let her tell her key traveling points of how she got where she is today. She has more than 10 years experience in the nonprofit arena, helping people bring their financial situations forward to get stronger home ownership, first home buyer programs. I mean, she's an author. She creates curriculum. Criteria. I'm saying training. She's just done so much in the private sector and with government agencies. She has a heart for our community and for people and for our real estate industry. And she's just a wealth of knowledge. So I'm so excited to bring her here. Her latest endeavors include being the spearhead for the ADU grant program in partnership with Cal HAFA. She's going to talk to us about that. She also is going to give us some insight about the new Bank of America Home Buyers Program. And so with no further ado, I'm going to bring to you Catherine Peoples. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to spend some time with us and give us valuable information.
No worries, and this is an honor. Every time I have an opportunity to speak to our community and the masses, I am just so honored to have this. So again, thank you for even having us this afternoon.
You're more than welcome. My privilege. So if you can tell us a little bit about the opportunities with the $40,000. It started off, I remember, at $25,000. It's $40,000 ADU grant program now. And a lot of people are aware of the program. They don't know how to access it. They don't know what it can be used for. And I know that we're trying to get it out to the masses. So if you can tell us a little bit about the goals of that program, the opportunities, we can start there.
Most certainly. So back in 2020, when COVID had basically hit us, right. Our organization had already put together a myriad of curriculum with regards to how to ADU. And so we came up with a educational curriculum as How to ADU by HBP Care, Design, Finance, Lease, and Protect. The reason we recognize that is because we were seeing that there was this opportunity of possible tiny homes that had presented itself. And so I know what happens when new things come out. There's a lot of entities who use our community as a test project. And so those type of entities had started to present themselves, doing door knocking and offering products where it's no money down to build an ADU or to assist with tiny homes. Right. And so I said, you know what, I better get some curriculum together so that at least I can teach the people, the brown and black folks of the communities, to say, hey, pay attention because this is coming. So fast forward, we made it through COVID. We did quite a few educations. Our education started from 20 people, and now they are at a tune of pretty much, I educate from the state of California, Northern and Southern California, anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 people a month on how to ADU. That is how much the frenzy has increased itself. With that said, there was a conversation that CalHFA had been having because they saw my reach and they said, would you be interested in assisting the state in getting the grants out there with a different type of product? And I said, by all means, I already have the footprint. I already have somewhat of a good following. Why not couple that? Because I feel the need to educate folks. It's also great to be able to provide them a product and service that they can utilize after the education. So I jumped at the chance. The chance presented itself last month in August. And we started with the grant or with the state of only having issued 17 grants. Wow. And let me just back us up a minute. The reason that the state was having so many challenges is obviously the grant went from 25,000 to 40,000.
Right.
But the participating partners on the list were requiring that many consumers do refinances. Mm-hmm. And obviously with interest rates going up, a lot of folks were not interested in refinancing their, 2%, 3% mortgages. Exactly. It just didn't make financial sense. So that in turn created an additional bottleneck. There were other bottlenecks on the product before, and it was pretty much because of the limitations that the participating lenders offered. And so again, the state has an amassed amount of money. I think it's like $100 million, right. And they have a commitment to get 2,500 ADUs built with that $100 million. Right. So the rumbling said, let's see if we can put a nonprofit out there and see what a nonprofit organization can do to help consumers.
Well, that's great.
You say, well, why would that become or present itself? Well, what was being found out during that time through some of our gathering of data is a lot of people had already gotten refinances prior to the interest rates going up. So there were a lot of people that had cash in HELOC form, cash in second mortgages that they had already taken out equity in their properties, cash from previous refinances. And so they were pretty cash heavy. Right. So why not get an organization who can come in, do the appropriate income checks, and then marry the cash that consumers have with the $40,000 ADU grant program. Hence, the inception of HPP Cares program. They also increased the income limits, which was extremely generous, especially in many of the counties. There's no reason that people wouldn't participate in the program. So with the increase in income limits, the increase in the ability to have a larger grant amount, and then now you're able to not only have to look for financing, you can pay with cash to build your ADU. It was a marriage that basically met the pent up demand, that it was a perfect alignment. Yes. And so hence everybody now knows who HPP Cares is throughout the state of California overnight.
Yes, we certainly do. And speaking of that, because a lot of people did they don't want to touch that 2.5% interest, but they want the ADU, and so a lot of it was taking out HELOCs and so forth, like you say, in terms of cash. But now they can take that cash and still participate and get that grant program, correct?
Certainly.
And then this is also for it's not for investors at the time. This is homeowners that want to build ADUs, right?
Yep.
And if their ADU is not completed, they might still be able to participate to get it completion. I have, we have people who had a certain budget, and then we have, supply chain issues, increases in everything. And so they got the ADU started, but they couldn't get it over the finish line. They can now apply for that grant and get reimbursed. So for some of that cost they already spent, because the grant is basically for soft costs, right?
Yes, it is.
Can you talk?
So let me explain to the listening audience, because that's an area where people have a few challenges. So soft costs can consist of being permits that need to be paid. They would also include impact fees. So a lot of people are building ADUs that are over the 750 marker. And so our grant can cover those impact fees. Okay. They cover surveys, they cover engineering costs, they cover site clearing, utility trenching. Everything that it takes to prepare for that ADU, just keep that in mind. If I have to prepare for the space for the ADU, then in turn the grant will qualify for those services. And if you have other things, because people do live in some rural areas of California, if there's something you're not too sure about, reach out to the agency, send us over an email at adu@hppcares.org, because that is pretty much our funnel for all questions. Again, adu@hppcares.org. and we can have a conversation with you. And if it's something you're not sure about with regard to the pre-development costs, shoot us over an email, and we'll be more than happy to answer.
So out in the Inland Empire, we have not too rural, but we have some areas which are on septic tank, and we've been talking to homeowners, and sometimes they have to put in separate septic tanks. They have to do percolation tests. They have to maybe remove a tree. Those type of things can be covered under the $40,000 grant, if I'm correct.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
All of the ones that you listed, for sure.
Okay. Okay. And just before we go to break, I want to, if you can just speak on the fact that what I've heard recently is that the grant can be used to buy down the interest rate on some of the loans. And with the feds increasing the interest rate, and that's like high on our mind right now, can you tell us a little bit about how that's working? Does it work for cash, or does it only work if we're taking out financing through a certified lender under your program?
So it would only work for those who are taking out financing, okay? And let me set a precursor. We are happy to assist with pre-development costs, and we would love to be able to pay those non-recurring costs, points, buy down rates, etc. Okay, origination cost. But what we're finding is a lot of the professionals in this arena have marked up their pricing. So the standard architectural plans that we used to see yesterday come in at $7,000 was kind of the average, $7,000 to $10,000. Right. We're now seeing price points where architects are in fact gouging and charging $20,000 for architectural plans. We are seeing contractors doing not only a 20% markup, but even maybe 30, 40% markup on some of the pre-development items that we've listed or discussed prior to. So I would love to be able to allow you to, have those non-recurring costs. But in many instances, a lot of the grant funds are being absorbed by the pre-development costs with the professionals that individuals are choosing. Okay. You say, well, Catherine, is there a way that you probably afterthought should have maybe thought of, we're only going to work with certain architects, certain contractors? I will say yes. That is an area that if we are afforded another round at this, we are definitely going to look at working with specific architects and contractors, because we have seen the likes of so much predatory gouging, especially within our community, and especially throughout the state, due to the frenzy that everyone wants to have that opportunity to build the ADU for housing loved ones, or simply monetizing on it and creating rent. So in the future, we will potentially have that in place. But as of right now, people are able to select who they choose. But just be careful when you do. If you are awarded the grant, really do some shopping. Reach out to the agency and ask us, is this price point, rather excessive, so that we could address it and have a conversation with you. Because we would love for people not only to have their pre-development costs covered, but also if they did take out financing, have those non-recurring fees cared for under the grant as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and we definitely need that clarification. So we're going to take a short break here. I ask you to please stay with us. We're going to continue this conversation, get some more details on how to access the program, how the reimbursements actually work, and other nuggets that Catherine may be willing to share with us. And so please stay tuned. We'll be back. This is the International Wealth Builders Radio Show with your host, Dr. Sharon Barnes, here on KCAA Radio Network and your favorite streaming channel.